Hi guys, my name is Sherry Holmes, and I just thought that today would be a great opportunity to talk you through my journey of working in the trades and getting involved in construction. It might not differ for everybody, but there might be some similarities or things that you can relate to. And just kind of explain that not everybody knows their path through life and how everything is done through kind of trial and error, and that is okay as well. When I was younger, my parents, my dad worked a lot all the time, no matter how old I was or what he was doing. He was always, always, always working. So I didn't get to see him a lot. And when we did, we'd spend a lot of our time building something. So something small as I was just a kid. So whether that be a toolbox or a birdhouse, which my birdhouse was not very good, I'll be honest. And when we did the toolbox, I obviously needed to fill it with different tools. So he helped me do that, which was really great. I needed to have my own things, and it was really a wonderful experience and things I look back and think of very fondly. I really, really wanted this Barbie dream house when I was younger. And listen, I don't admit it to everybody because, Barbie doesn't seem like something that I would necessarily be into, but I loved Barbies, okay? And I really, really wanted this Barbie dream house, and we didn't have the money for it. We couldn't afford to get it. So my dad decided he was going to build me a dream house. It was hideous, the ugliest Barbie dream house you would have ever seen. Like, I don't think my Barbies would have ever wanted to live in that thing, but I guarantee it is still structurally sound to this day and still standing. It's just, it wasn't pretty, but he built me a Barbie dream house. It had hinges, it opened up. He painted everything like charcoal and just really dark at the time for Barbies, I guess. But I digress. So as we got older, my parents split, and as happens to a lot of people out there, and that's okay. They split, and in order to spend time with my dad, we would have to do it generally at his job site. So whatever active job site he had at the time, or if he's working in the office, we'd be there. We spent a lot of time in sites and places we probably shouldn't at our age, but back then it was not as frowned upon as it probably would be now for safety. But a lot of the time you would help him on these sites, whether that be it to a hindrance or actually helpful, I'm not entirely sure. But sweeping, playing hide-and-go-seek on a construction site, we literally grew up on a construction site. And as we got older, again, we would help him with projects on his own home. So it grew from building small projects at the house in order to bond and spend time together, to helping finish projects that he didn't have time to otherwise finish on his own. So I helped him refinish his hardwood floors at home and relay that. Pardon the noise, that's a vacuum. And I helped refinish his fireplace. We helped build an addition in his back room. My brother and I helped him build a shed in the backyard, which is very interesting because actually my brother dropped a gravel rake on my head and cut my head open. So thanks for that, Michael. So there's lots of experiences there, but a lot of time was spent working with him. And then once I got into high school, and I found all this pressure was put on me to figure out what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And I think, it's important that we express to kids at a younger age that they have to figure out what they'd be really great at, or just work towards some kind of goal. But I feel like pressuring someone at such a young age to be like, you need to know what you're doing. Like, I had friends that knew exactly what they were getting into, exactly where they were going in life, and I was just unsure. I had applied to all kinds of different programs and just not sure what I wanted to do. I ended up working 3 different jobs all the time because I wanted to make money and I wanted to experience life, but I wasn't ready to settle down, nor did I have any kind of idea of what I should be doing for a living, and I wasn't really focused on a career per se. So I began backpacking and traveling the world with any of the money that I could scrape together, like sleeping on park benches just to go and see a new place. And it was cool because I can think about it now, and I really experienced life, but I really also had a respect for the architecture. And I remember like getting a hold of my dad, and I was like, oh, you should see how they're building in this country, or how they have bamboo structure here and there. Like, it was really, really cool. But eventually, want us to come home, and I had to have a place to live. I needed to take care of myself financially. And my dad was finally like, why don't you come and work for me? And At first I was hesitant, but you know what? It was like, okay, I can still work other jobs. I can still travel if that's what I want to do. So I came and worked for him, and I started working with the editing department. So at the time he was filming Homes on Homes. Very cool show, the OG of all of the home shows, and there are a lot of home shows. But I found myself becoming maybe a bit jealous or having a bit of FOMO watching our construction crew have so much fun together. It was really just a big family, and all the footage that I got to like cut, everyone just seemed like they were having such a great time and loved what they were doing. So I'd get kind of bored and watching all of them, and then I decided, in my spare time, I'm going to go to site and I'm going to help them, because again, at the time of filming Homes on Homes, we had crazy deadlines. We were working round the clock. Like, some reveals happened at 4 a.m. because that's just what happened. Like, it was just really busy and chaotic in the best way. So I would go and visit and I would help them. And that being said, at that time, I didn't really have any kind of construction background. I had just done funsy stuff with my dad, and that's about it. So I was helpful, but a lot of the time it was going to be in the sense of cleaning and little things like that. And I always made sure to try to do it behind the camera lens, because I did absolutely not want to be on camera. Go figure, right? And long story short, I kept doing this. I was having fun hanging out with everybody, learning new things. And my dad and a VP of the company at that time cornered me in an office, and they said, "Hey, Sherry, we are going to New Orleans, and we are going to build the first home in the lower Ninth Ward after Hurricane Katrina. You want to come?" And I said no. I couldn't think of a worse fate. I was like, absolutely not. I don't want to work in construction. I do not want to film on camera. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't want to look like that girl on site. I was a bit of a shy girl at the time, so it was just like the idea of doing that was just insane. And working with my younger brother, we probably didn't get along that great at the time. However, eventually my dad came up with this really smart ploy to have me agree, and it was, "Listen, you like to travel, right, Cher?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." He's like, "Well, have you ever been to New Orleans?" And I was like, "No, I haven't, but that would be cool." And he was like, "Well, we're going to go to New Orleans, a place you haven't seen, but I also want to give you background on this woman that we're going to help. Her name is Gloria Guy, and she lost absolutely everything from Hurricane Katrina. She takes care of all of her grandkids. They live with her. She has nothing, no photographs of her past, no personal belongings whatsoever." And honestly, that really got me. So try to turn down the opportunity to be someone else's superhero. That's a really difficult thing to do. And I love to give back to a community or to help people. So I agreed. And we flew down to New Orleans. I think it was 2 or 3 days after my 21st birthday. So I was just legal to be drinking in the States. Should that be, something you choose to do? Not saying that it was. But we just flew down to the States a couple days after my birthday. I had literally just decided to join the construction crew. So again, no background, no experience, no skill, like nothing. And on the job site, I will never forget, I didn't even know how to read a measuring tape. I failed measurement in high school. I could not. Angles still get me. I'm not great at numbers. I'm not great at math. And I'm not embarrassed to admit that, because you're not going to be good at everything. Nobody is good at everything. It is absolutely impossible. So on site, my brother taught me to read a measuring tape at 21 years old. We would hide behind the pillars of this house we were building, and he'd start walking me through a tape measure. Like, this is an eighth, this is a 16th, this is a quarter, half, whatever it was. Until I finally got it. And I would have to read those ticks, like every single little tick, to come up with my exact measurement, and until I really learned how to read it properly myself. And I did take that job extremely serious. It was one of the most difficult jobs I've ever done, one of the best things I've ever done in my life, one of the most amazing reveals I could have ever been part of, because this woman and this family needed us so bad. And I will never, that's my cat Loki, I will never forget that experience. I ended up trying to work twice as hard as everybody, just because as one of the only females there, I didn't want anyone to look down on me or disrespect me or treat me like someone or something I wasn't. So I wanted to work really hard. We'd go on breaks and I'd keep working. We'd go for lunch and I would not go and eat anything until every other person was off that job site and eating. I was always doing something. So even if I didn't know what I was doing, I was asking someone, hey, where do you need me? What can I do right now? Tell me how to do that. I'll do it for you. And I learned a lot. And again, best experience of my life. And I left New Orleans with job offers from other construction companies and trades, people trying to take me from my dad's company. And it's not me boasting or bragging. It's just, it goes to show you what hard work is. Like, I was not the most skilled person on site, nor am I every day, you know? There's always going to be someone who's better than you or works at a different pace than you, but I tried hard enough and it really proved itself there. We stayed up until we had another hurricane warning, I believe, but we had just finished the house. It was on the day of the 3rd year anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. So we made our deadline and we literally flew out the next day to avoid the next hurricane coming, and we were coming home. So we spent about 3 months in New Orleans, Louisiana, and then back home to Toronto, Canada. And I will cherish every bit of that. I have been back to New Orleans since. I would love to go again and get a chance to meet with Gloria and some of her family to see how the house is. It was just the most amazing experience, and I have never, ever looked back. It was a career path that I never thought I would have. I never thought I actually would have the opportunity. I was never interested in. And I ended up giving it a shot, and it is what I do to this day. Yeah, it's amazing. So I guess my take home from that would be, if you are unsure as to what you want to do in life, or if you could change your career now, give it a try. You never know. It could be the most amazing thing in your life.